The sun burned low over the African savanna, heavy and red, as if watching with indifference. The air shimmered with heat. Grass whispered under the feet of a small band of Australopithecus afarensis, a fragile tribe caught in the endless war of hunger and fear. They moved in silence, bent low, their dark eyes fixed on a herd of antelope grazing near a dry riverbed. The leader, broad-shouldered and scarred, gripped a sharpened stone. Behind him, a young mother carried a child clinging to her fur. The others crouched with branches and rocks in hand, primitive weapons born from desperation, not mastery. Suddenly, a hot wind swept across the plain. The herd twitched, uneasy. Smoke curled on the horizon, black veins against the pale sky. Fire! The dry grass had ignited, perhaps by lightning miles away. Flames crept closer, licking the earth, moving with hungry speed. The tribe had to act, hunt or flee. The leader raised his stone, gesturing sharply. They lunged. Stones cracked against the antelope's legs, sticks flailed, cries filled the air. Panic surged through the herd, and dust exploded upward as hooves thundered. One antelope stumbled, bleeding from a gash. The tribe swarmed it, teeth bared, stone edges flashing. Blood sprayed across their faces, warm, metallic, sacred. The child wailed, frightened by the frenzy. But there was no time to feast. The fire was coming. Smoke thickened, clawing into throats. The mother dragged the child onto her hip, the others tore raw strips of meat from the kill, carrying what they could. Flames crackled, chasing them into the open. They ran. Through grasslands, past thorn bushes, stumbling over stones, they ran until their legs trembled. Behind them, the fire roared like a predator, devouring everything. At last, they reached a stony outcrop, a cluster of boulders jutting like broken teeth. There, they huddled, clutching their bloody prize. The fire passed, leaving the horizon glowing red with smoke and ash. Night fell. Stars pierced the black sky, cold and eternal. The tribe gnawed their meat in silence. Grease smeared across their hands, blood painted their mouths. For a moment, survival felt certain. The flames had not claimed them. Hunger was soothed. The child, exhausted, slept against the mother's chest. But the savanna never slept. A low growl echoed from the dark. Eyes glowed between the stones, hyenas drawn by the smell of blood. The leader stiffened, gripping his stone blade. The others raised branches, hissing, baring teeth like beasts. Hyenas circled, laughing with cruel voices. One darted forward, snapping. The tribe lashed out, striking with wood and stone. The predators shrieked, scattering, then regrouping. The battle stretched into the night, flashes of teeth, screams, and shadows. At last, the tribe pressed close, forming a wall of bodies. They roared, slammed stones against rock, made themselves large. The hyenas, frustrated, slunk back into the dark. The tribe sagged, trembling but alive. The child stirred, whining. The mother rocked him gently, smearing his cheek with blood and dust. In the silence that followed, the tribe leaned together, sharing warmth. Above them, the stars glimmered, indifferent witnesses. They had survived the day. But the savanna promised no mercy. The night gave no rest. Cold winds swept across the savanna, carrying the stink of ash from the burned plains. The tribe stirred awake, shivering against stone. Their bellies ached again. The scraps of meat were gone, stripped by hunger and fear. The leader rose, scanning the horizon. His chest heaved, still streaked with dried blood. He motioned with sharp gestures, move. No shelter here. No food. No water. The others obeyed, weary but desperate. They descended from the rocks and walked into the pale dawn. Ash coated the earth, crunching underfoot, painting their legs gray. Birds wheeled overhead, scavengers circling where the fire had driven prey to death. The mother carried her child, his small hands curled into her fur. The elders limped, leaning on branches like crutches. The young ones trotted close, eyes wide with fear. By midday, the sun burned merciless. Heat shimmered across the plains. Their tongues swelled with thirst. Their cracked lips bled. Then hope. The smell of damp earth drifted through the air. The leader lifted his head, nostrils flaring. He quickened pace, others stumbling after him. At last they reached it, a riverbed shallow but alive, snaking across the savanna like a scar. Water glistened between sandbars, thin but precious. With shrieks of relief, the tribe fell to their knees, scooping water with cupped hands. Some drank greedily, faces pressed into the current. The child splashed weakly, eyes bright again. But survival was never without price. On the far bank, shadows moved. A rival band. 6 figures, lean and scarred, their bones sharp under skin. They had seen the fire too. They had smelled the same water. Their eyes burned with hunger and rage. Both tribes froze, staring across the stream. Silence stretched like a taut rope. Then violence. The rival band stormed forward, splashing through the shallows with stones raised high. The leader of the first tribe bellowed, striking a rock against another to warn his kin. They formed a hasty circle, mothers clutching children inside, the strongest braced with crude weapons. Clash. Stone against stone, stick against bone. Shrieks filled the air. Blood sprayed on the sand. One elder fell, skull split by a rock. Another rival crumpled, chest caved by a heavy branch. The river turned red, rippling with spilled life. The mother shielded her child, crouched low as blows rained around her. A rival lunged, grabbing at her arm. The leader appeared, stone blade flashing, splitting the attacker's face. He roared, forcing the others back. For a heartbeat, silence. Then tragedy. From the shallows rose a dark, sinuous shape. A ripple of muscle. A crocodile. With terrifying speed, it lunged, jaws snapping. Its teeth clamped down on a rival's leg, dragging him into the water. Screams turned to gurgles. Chaos erupted. Both tribes scattered, forgetting war, fleeing the death hidden beneath the surface. The survivors of the rival band fled downriver, wailing. The first tribe regrouped on the bank, panting, trembling. The leader's chest heaved, blood dripping from his stone blade. They had defended their water, but at terrible cost. An elder gone, the tribe weakened. The child whimpered, clinging to his mother. She rocked him, eyes wide with fear. Around them, vultures circled lower, waiting for death to finish its work. But the river also gave life. The tribe drank again, cautiously now, away from the deeper pools. They smeared mud on their wounds, cooling the sting. One youth, clever-eyed, gathered reeds and began to braid them into a crude bundle, shaping it into something to carry water forward. Night fell again. The tribe huddled close, their breath steaming in the chill. Across the river, the eyes of crocodiles glowed faintly, waiting. From the trees beyond, the cries of leopards echoed. The tribe pressed tighter together, united by blood and fear. Above them, the stars blazed. Dust from the burned savanna still clung to the air, turning the heavens red. The leader raised his face to it, jaw set. Survival had demanded blood. The river had chosen who would remain. And tomorrow it would demand more. Morning rose pale and brittle, the savanna hushed as though holding breath. Ash from the fire still drifted on the wind, soft as snow. The tribe stirred from uneasy sleep, eyes hollow from hunger and grief. One elder was gone, torn from them at the river. The rival band had fled, but their absence felt like a shadow. The leader lifted himself slowly, every muscle stiff from battle. He gripped his stone blade tighter, as though it alone tethered the tribe to life. He motioned forward. Always forward. The savanna offered no mercy to those who stayed still. They followed the river's curve, moving into higher ground where thorn trees dotted the slope. Children clung to mothers. The young carried bundles of water wrapped in woven reeds. Step by step, the tribe endured. But above, dark clouds began to gather. By midday, the sky had turned iron. The air grew heavy, buzzing with electricity. Then came the first flash, lightning, splitting the horizon. A heartbeat later, thunder rolled like the growl of a colossal beast. The tribe froze wide-eyed. They had known fire from sky before, but never this close, never with such fury. The storm broke. Rain lashed the earth, stinging skin, soaking fur. The tribe scrambled for shelter, stumbling through mud. The mother slipped, clutching her child, nearly swept away by the sudden rush of water tearing down the slope. The leader grabbed her arm, hauling them to higher ground. Around them, the savanna turned to chaos. Streams surged into torrents, trees whipped and cracked under the wind. At last, they found refuge. A limestone cave mouth half hidden by thorn and stone. They crowded inside, water streaming off their bodies. The cave was dark, damp, and narrow, but it was shelter. Yet shelter was never safe. A musky stench filled the air, thick, primal, wrong. The leader stiffened, nostrils flaring. From the shadows came a rumble, low and terrible. Eyes glowed in the dark. Lions. The pride had claimed this cave before them. Now the invaders faced the choice of fight or flight. The tribe pressed together, trembling. The lions advanced, golden bodies rippling with muscle, teeth bared, hungry from the storm's fury. The leader slammed stone against stone, sparks flying. A flicker of firelight. The others followed, shouting, shrieking, slamming sticks against the walls. Fear turned to frenzy, screams louder than thunder, bodies thrashing to appear larger, more monstrous. For a moment, the lions hesitated. Then one lunged. The leader met it with his stone blade. The impact drove him to the ground, jaws snapping inches from his throat. He screamed, shoving the blade into the lion's shoulder. Blood sprayed, hot and heavy. The beast roared, wrenching back. Others in the tribe hurled stones, striking its flank. The cave became a whirlwind of claws, stones, shrieks, and blood. The lions retreated deeper into the cave, snarling. The tribe, panting and bloodied, pressed to the mouth. They had no choice. The cave was death. They fled back into the storm. Rain still poured, but the storm had begun to move east. The tribe stumbled onto the flooded plain, lightning revealing them in stark flashes, thin, wild figures smeared in blood and mud. Behind them, lions prowled at the cave mouth, watching but not following. The tribe trudged on, water up to their knees. The child clung to his mother, eyes wide with terror. The leader limped, blood streaking his arm from the lion's claws, but his grip on the stone blade never faltered. At last, the rain softened, leaving only the sound of dripping earth and distant thunder. The tribe collapsed beneath a twisted acacia tree, bodies pressed together for warmth. Steam rose from their skin in the cooling air. The leader sagged to his knees, gazing at the wounded sky. His breath came ragged, but his eyes burned. They had faced fire, rival kin, river beasts, and lions. Yet still they endured. But the savanna had not finished testing them. From the grass beyond the tree, yellow eyes blinked open, silent hunters waiting for night to fall. The night returned, heavy with silence. The storm had passed, but the air was thick with damp earth and fear. Beneath the twisted acacia tree, the tribe lay pressed together, every ear alert, every breath shallow. From the tall grass beyond came the whisper of movement. Yellow eyes glowed, lions again, patient and circling. They had followed. The savanna was not finished with them. The leader rose slowly, shoulders scarred and slick with drying blood. His stone blade glinted faintly in the starlight. He did not roar, did not charge. Instead, he crouched, spreading his arms wide, gesturing with sharp, urgent motions. The tribe understood. This was no longer about hiding. This was about the last stand. The mothers pulled children close, shielding them with their bodies. The young and strong gathered stones, hefting them with trembling hands. The leader scraped dry branches into a pile, striking stones together until sparks bloomed. Tiny flame. Then more. Smoke curled upward. Fire, the ancient ally. Their only chance. The lions crept closer, bodies low, tails lashing. Their growls rumbled like thunder in the earth. The leader thrust a burning branch into the dark. Flames hissed in the damp air, but the light held. The others seized branches too, lifting them like spears, shrieking, beating the earth, becoming a wall of fire and fury. Then the pride struck. Golden bodies erupted from the grass. One lion slammed into a youth, dragging him down. Screams split the night. The mother with the child lashed out with her torch, fire kissing fur. The beast yowled, recoiling. Another lion lunged at the leader. He met it head-on, driving his stone blade into its throat. Hot blood spurted, painting his chest. Chaos consumed them. Fire whirled, stones cracked bone, claws tore flesh. The air was a storm of roars and screams. One young female leapt onto a lion's back, beating its skull with a rock until it fell still. The elders, though frail, swung branches with wild defiance, sparks scattering into the grass. At last, fire turned the tide. Flames spread through the dry brush, encircling the clearing in a ring of light. The lions faltered, snarling at the burning wall. One by one, they slunk back into the dark, defeated not by strength but by fire and unity. The tribe collapsed, panting, trembling, alive. Two lay still, the youth dragged down, and one elder who had not risen after the clash. Their blood mingled with the dust, feeding the soil. The survivors huddled around the small child, who whimpered softly but lived. His wide eyes reflected the flames, as if memorizing this night of blood and fire. The leader, chest heaving, sank to his knees. His blade dripped crimson. He lifted his face to the stars, his body shaking not from fear but from exhaustion, from the price survival demanded. Around him, the tribe pressed close, their bodies one mass of warmth and breath. As dawn rose, the savanna shimmered with gold. Smoke drifted above the burned grass where lions had prowled. Vultures circled the battlefield, but dared not descend while fire still smoldered. The tribe gathered the fallen, smearing their foreheads with ash and dust. No words, no rituals, only silence, the language of grief. Then they moved on, carrying water bundles, children, and the memory of the dead. By midday, they reached a ridge overlooking the plains. From its crest, the world opened wide, endless grasslands glowing under the sun, dotted with herds of grazing beasts. Life abundant and unclaimed. The leader stood tall, eyes scanning the horizon. His arm lifted, gesturing forward. The tribe followed, battered but unbroken. Their scars told of fire, river, storm, and lion. Their strength came not from claws or speed, but from each other, from blood spilled together, from the choice to endure when everything sought their end. At the ridge, the child wriggled from his mother's arms and stood unsteady on the stone. He looked out across the savanna with wide, unblinking eyes. Around him, the tribe gathered, a circle of dust, blood, and hope. The sun crowned the horizon. The day began anew. And so, in that moment, etched in blood and dust, the legacy of survival was written. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more epic adventures.